If you're not sure about your own paint and body skills and you want to pass off the paint job to somebody that says they can do the job, make sure that they can actually back it up, because it can break your heart and break your wallet at the same time. And this is not the sign of a professional shop. We landed somewhere in between doing the work ourselves and taking it somewhere to outsource the paint job. Because the truth is, there's several layers involved in painting a vehicle, even one as straightforward as ours. We had flaky paint and a solid body, with only one real rust problem area in the driver's side cab corner. So we fixed the rust hole. We marked out the damage on the rest of the panels. We fixed and primed our bodywork. Then we sanded and masked the truck, then trailered it across town to a great little independent body shop that we knew would treat us right, because we inspected them, we interviewed them, and what we ended up with was a great paint job. Now, it might take some searching and hunting, but if you ask the right questions and find out if a shop is willing to work with you, well, you can end up with excellent results and save a lot of money in the process. We made the rounds to several local auto body shops to ask some questions and see if they were interested in doing the heavy lifting on our paint job, which is spraying the color. Every one of them was open to the possibility, but wanted a crystal clear understanding about what the condition of the truck was, how much work they had to do, and what we expected. Here's what we learned. Nobody would warranty a paint job over a foundation that they didn't create, and that's totally understandable. They can't guarantee if it's been done correctly, and it's up to you to do the work properly. There are 3 ways that a body shop makes profit. 1, parts, 2, labor, and 3, materials. And we just removed a big one, which is most of the labor. So we've got to expect that they're going to charge us properly for paint materials and the time that it takes to spray them. Also, don't try and force a budget paint line down the throat of a shop or the painter. Let them use what they're used to so that the painter's comfortable and confident, and you're going to get a better job. Each shop used a different brand of paint and requested that they use what their painter is used to spraying, and that we buy it from them instead of bringing it in with us. The thing is, you can't build a castle on sand. The same goes for a paint job. You've got to have a solid foundation to build on. We use high quality and affordable primer and filler combinations to show you how to do the bodywork properly, so we're in good shape. But the body shop that I want to spray the paint has no idea what I used, and they can't guarantee that we did it correctly. And I shouldn't expect them to warranty my work that they know nothing about. It's just not reasonable to ask for, and that's just part of the risk that you take, and part of the reality of outsourcing just the paint job while trying to save yourself money by doing most of the labor yourself. Shops will want to inspect your work before they commit. Even though they didn't do the work, it's their reputation and name that's going on the paint job, and they all reserve the right to refuse the job if the prep work was not up to their standards. It takes a long time to build up a reputation as a repair shop, and not very much time to ruin it. Word of mouth is extremely important when you're trying to build a business. So the shop that you're seeking out has to feel comfortable with this process, and that you, the customer, understand what they're going to get back, no surprises. I had the thing happen to be way back in the mid-90s. A guy wanted a budget paint job, and I worked with him, and that's what he got. I used good materials and saved him a lot of money not painting inside the bed of his El Camino. He told me he was going to put in a cover or a drop-in bed liner, and we both agreed that I wouldn't paint inside the bed. After he got his vehicle back, I heard from some people around town that he was unhappy about me not finishing the inside of the bed and cutting corners. He actually told people that I cut corners that he didn't know about. The truth was, he didn't want to pay for it, but he didn't like the look of it afterwards, and instead of coming to me to discuss it, he just vented about it publicly. So he didn't get the job that he wanted, and I got some bruises on my reputation right when I was trying to build my business, and it's all because of a clear lack of communication on both our parts. So make sure that both people have a clear communication, that both you and the shop know what to expect, and get it in writing. Spraying the paint is one thing. Polishing to perfection is a completely different procedure after the spraying is done. Don't expect the shop to just throw this in. Nobody's work is perfect right out of the gun, and you may get back a paint job with minor debris and dust in the paint. Or the shop may insist on an upcharge of sanding and polishing their work, which is a labor-intensive process and can get expensive. The bottom line is this: most shops are willing to work with you in a reasonable way, but don't expect unreasonable results or free labor. You can save some of the money by doing the work yourself, but understand that you're trading time for money and that you should expect to invest some sweat equity to save some dollars. We settled on a color based off of the factory paint code, and with the help of the shop, we chose a two-stage paint just like the factory used, in a high-quality but budget-friendly paint line that's going to hold up great over the years and actually look better than the factory paint did in 1989. The process of surface correction, sanding, and polishing is a discipline, and it takes a while and some practice to perfect and understand it. But it's something that you can learn how to do yourself. One of my favorite sayings is that the sanding and the polishing part is the last opportunity that we have to improve and perfect the paint job on any vehicle. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be done right away after the paint job is finished. You can wait a few months or farm it out. Do it yourself. You take baby steps and do the surface correction after a paint job at your own pace, maybe even one panel at a time. And by the way, Paintucation can help with the color sanding and buffing DVD that's in the catalog. Or if you want to do the whole paint job process yourself, paint your own truck, I'll show you how. Just saying. One thing we haven't really talked about, and something that's kind of trendy right now, is patina, which is just a natural aging process and deteriorating of a paint job. And there's something cool about how paint fades, and if there's not a lot of rust, some people just give their trucks solid and reliable drivetrains and roll with the paint and surface rust. Cool patina, new wheels and tires next to a lowering kit, that's a cool way to go. And obviously, you save the money that paint and body would have cost you. I've even seen brand new interiors in a classic truck, engines, airbags, rebuilds, swaps, all of that stuff, air conditioning, sound systems. It all looks great around faded paint. And honestly, it's almost what we did with the OBS truck, but I wanted it shiny. If you decide to do your own paint and body work, even if you've never done it before, it's definitely a possibility and something I've seen done many times with great results. It gets expensive since you have to buy equipment, tools, all the stuff to paint with, and you need a protective place to spray the paint. Also, you need at least a 5-horsepower compressor with a 60-gallon air tank to do vehicle-sized projects. And then you need proper air lines and filters to clean the air even before you spray. Then you need a decent spray gun and, of course, proper safety equipment, PPE, to safely spray the paint. And the investment in time that it takes to learn how to use all this stuff. And if that sounds like a lot, well, it is, but it's worth it. To get set up with the right tools and equipment, it can come close to the cost of having somebody do the job for you. But then you'll be set up for the next one, and maybe the next one too. And I've seen many small businesses started by somebody that went through the learning process, invested in their tools to do the job right, and you can make really good side money doing paint work. Painting your own truck, well, it's a detailed procedure with many steps. But if you break it down to the individual jobs, tackle it one step at a time, like any other restoration, it's manageable. Being able to put a nice paint job on your project gives you a great sense of pride. And once you get a handle on the basics with a little bit of confidence, you can save yourself a ton of money by doing it yourself. So there's lots of options when it comes to the finish of your truck and how you want to create your own version of it. And now, all we do is wait. Hunters is going to give us a call when the paint job's dry and the truck's ready to be picked up. But now, this is a big one. We get to cross off the paint job. Major. And in the meantime, there's a bunch of parts that came in that we had ordered a while ago from the catalog. We'll inventory these, get them ready to install, and we're that much closer. It feels good.